Hi, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 2022 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. And if you hear any snoring in the background, that is my dog Esme. Don't pay her any attention. All right. So now let's begin the reading by clearing the energy space, raising our own energy vibration, and releasing any negativity. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Pisces be affected by the January 2022 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. 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 Let's move this over so you guys can see better. Okay, so at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Sun, which is absolutely brilliant. That's the happiest card in the whole entire deck. And we have the Death card. So the Death card is Scorpio energy. If we have Scorpio energy within our natal chart, it's coming through very strongly at our root. There's a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. If we let that transformation happen, all right, and we don't fear it, we're not, fighting it, there's a lot of happiness that lies in wait for us, that lies waiting for us. Then we have the King of Cups. That's us. We're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We're represented by the moon in the major arcana. And so here, the the King of Cups comes in. We're embracing our power. We're embracing our understanding. We're letting ourselves shine. And that's awesome. Then the Six of Cups comes forward. So it's always like a double-edged sword. The Six of Cups is this sense of, but the past comes in. And now I'm doubting myself. Now I don't know if I can. We then have our emotional self. We have the Seven of Cups, our wishes. We have the Two of Cups, unity and connection. And we have the Star card, which is Aquarius energy. So if we have Aquarius within our natal chart, that comes through very powerfully here at our heart. In the public arena, we have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Five of Cups. So it's change your mind and change your life. And it's, working together, it's coming together, it's embracing the different transformations of our lives, the different aspects of ourselves, the child, the adult, the wisdom that we become. In traditional kind of mythologies, it's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. But now we're encompassing for everyone, right? So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So this is two. We need to be mindful of the Princess of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. We need to be mindful of getting in our own way emotionally and setting up like emotional manipulations, emotional traps, or others who have set up emotional traps for us. And then the Princess of Pentacles is immaturity around money. We have to be mindful of people who are immature around money and who have underdeveloped ideas. So just being aware of this. And we have to be mindful with ourselves, is our idea developed? Are we giving it a good shot? Are we balancing things correctly? That's going to be really important during this time. And now let us see our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is holistic health. It's the root chakra. It's absolutely one of my favorite cards. And this is saying I need to connect with my body. I need to connect with healing myself and what empowers me, what moves me forward, what has me centered within myself. This is taking our vitamins, this is taking care of ourselves. This is eating right. This is connecting with the earth. I love barefoot shoes, which I will be doing a video on in this new year because I have been talking about them so much. There's just a sense of I need to see what's right for my body and I need to fall into that alignment. Even if it sounds crazy, I started wearing barefoot shoes. Like I got one pair or started walking around barefoot a lot. And I thought, okay, what the heck is this going to do? And it actually, after a week, it really started to help my jaw. I have terrible TMJ and it really started to help my jaw. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so that absolutely set me on that path. Like astounding things will happen in ways that we don't expect when we listen to our bodies, when we are in alignment with ourselves. And as we become more aligned with ourselves, we become more powerful. We become more driven, more focused, more who we're meant to be. And that is by embracing our holistic self, our true self, and in connecting with it. Now, let's talk about this new moon astrologically. So this new moon is in Capricorn, and it says here your hard work is paying off, which is always great to hear. That our hard work is paying off, our time and our effort hasn't been for nothing. Now, the new moon is on the 2nd of January, which is when we're doing these readings, and this new moon is in Capricorn. We're taking in this energy and we're seeing how it projects us forward, because this is a new 28-day cycle, and this is a time where we find ourselves embracing new beginnings. We have the end of the old cycle, a beginning of another cycle. We have this burst of energy, this insight and this intuition that lasts for at least 14 days. It can last for the whole 28 days as we're seeing things more clearly, as we're seeing things more, intricately within ourselves. The energy dwindles down, but it depends how sensitive we are, how intense it is. We will also find that the new moon is a time of emotional balance. Now, it can be that something happens that brings up a lot of emotional turmoil, and then we find the balance within ourselves. The new moon is trine Uranus. Now, this is a wonderful alignment, especially to start the new year with, because it brings open-mindedness, it brings adventure, it brings willingness to try new things. It lets us progress forward in our lives kind of the way that we want to, really seeing who it is that we are. And with the new moon trine Uranus, Uranus rules Aquarius energy. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And so here, this is very powerful for us, and we'll feel this connection mostly at our heart. We will find that we are self-aware, but not self-conscious, meaning that we let ourselves be ourselves. We embrace our holistic being without being self-conscious and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't possibly, this is so silly. I can't be me. Everybody's going to laugh. Nobody's going to understand me. So it's very important here that we embrace this. It also brings our uniqueness forward. It lets us embrace our creativity, our quirkiness, our insights, our ideas. We can start projects during this time. We can look at things in such a way where it's outside of the box and we feel more at home with ourselves because of this. Now, we would be happy to see that this is a time of unexpected but positive change that leads us towards freedom, that makes us more comfortable, stepping out of our comfort zone and stepping into the world that we want to create for ourselves. We will also find that negative reactions from others, it doesn't really affect us the way that it once was. It's not going to be as big a deal as it once was. We will also find that we pick up on things rather quickly. It's easy for us to learn new things. It's easy for us to dive into new things. Now, the new moon is also going to be in conjunction with Lilith, known as the Black Moon. And Lilith represents what we want to ignore within our lives, what we're running away from. Now, here's the thing with Lilith. Lilith in the Bible is in the Bible, right? So not mentioned quite by name, but in the beginning of Genesis, we have the first chapter and we have the second chapter. And the first chapter, it says, they were created in their image and likeness, right? And in the second chapter, we have Adam and we have Eve created from his rib. So we have those two conflicting stories. And in rabbinical studies, or two conflicting accounts, depending on how you look at it. And in the rabbinical studies, the studies of the rabbi, they said, well, they contradict each other. And so they came up with the answer. The answer is that there were two people created. One was Adam, right? And then one was Lilith. And Lilith demanded to be equal to Adam. And so she was cast out of Eden. And as she was cast out of Eden, she was made a demon. So Lilith has us, the black moon has us, looking at what part of ourselves have we cast out? Have we denied? Have we, shunned? And why is it that we need to call it back in and see it? Now, it could be a dark, evil side of us. There could be darkness there. It could also be the confident, outgoing, gregarious side of us. It depends on our individuality, and it depends on what it is that we're running from. And as we claim it, as we see it, it doesn't mean that we let it overpower us. If it's, darkness and doubts and fears and anger and, destruction, what it is that I own it. And so now I've tamed the monster instead of running from the monster, which I know will one day catch up with me. And there's quite a difference there. And there's quite a power there to be embraced. Now, Saturn is in Aquarius. Now, the interesting thing is that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, as we stated before. And when these two come together, there's conflict, right? There is the sense of anxiety because Saturn is all about rules and Aquarius is all about freedom. And it's like, how do I make these two things come forward? And what happens is we look at the rules that we need within our lives, right? The structure that gives us purpose, the responsibilities that we have acquired, the heavy load that we need to carry, that stoicism that we need to embrace within our lives for ourselves. And we also look at that freedom, that expression, that those new ideas, the embracing and the embodiment of everything that we want to discover and learn and, move forward within our lives. And if we have these two marry each other, if we have the unity of these two energies, all of a sudden we will be unstoppable. We will find that this year is one of our most productive, our most focused. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes happen that really move us forward in a way that we weren't expecting. Now, the new moon is going to be conjunct the fixed star Nunki. Now, Nunki is a lovely star. Usually we have a great reading and then really malevolent, there we go, stars. But Nunki isn't malevolent. It is a star that brings forward truthfulness and optimism and the ability to connect with deeper knowledge. It is also, in accordance to the ancient mathematician and philosopher Ptolemy, it is also of the nature of Jupiter and of Mercury, meaning that Nunki is not only hardworking, highly hardworking, but astoundingly lucky, and brings that hardworking luck to us. And it also brings that communicative skill of being able to connect with that knowledge, being able to connect with that wisdom, being able to open up those doors. Now, at our root here, we have the Sun, the happiest card in the whole entire deck. Brilliance and joy and prosperity and success coming forward. Now, the people take us by eyes because of it always. Whenever they see radiance within somebody, people think, oh, I want to knock them down because that radiance should be mine. I want what they get to have. And this is going to be a time where we don't let people take away what is rightfully ours. We need to stand in our glory because we're going through a transformation. And at times we can doubt that glory. We can doubt that, we're moving forward even in the right direction. We can feel overwhelmed. We can feel, overly anxious about things. But the death card is the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, the sense that so much more is coming forward than I ever realized. And as I am embracing this, I'm cutting through so many doubts, so many fears, but I'm also looking at the evolution of my dreams, of what I want, of what I need, of who I am, and how I'm moving forward within my life. And as I do so, I'm seeing myself more and more and more. I'm honoring myself more and more and more. I'm not holding myself to dreams that no longer fit me or fears that have tied a noose around my neck for way too long. And it brings us to the King of Cups. It brings us to this place of power and intensity. It brings us to this place of I'm embracing the power that is me. Because in medieval times, which we're talking about when we see the king, right? The king was the paramount of what masculinity was supposed to be. He was not only the caregiver of the people, he was the caregiver of the land, the owner of the land and of the people and of the prosperity that would be the fortune of the kingdom. And that's what we're going to see here. But the King of Cups is my favorite king because he says, I cannot rule you. You need to rule you. Because we cannot get people to do what we want them to do, right? We cannot force them. Well, we can get people, but we cannot force them to do what we want them to do. Right? We have to work with their personalities. We have to, train manners into them. If we're talking about, well, train sounds like a weird word to use, but if we're talking about children and toddlers, especially 2-year-olds, where they're at their most violent. The most violent age for a human being is 2. And so here it's instructing, manners, and it's saying I lead by example, and I'm going to be consistent in that example. And that's what the King of Cups is. Consistent in the example of how he lives his life, of what he goes after, of the power and the prosperity and the intensity that is him, that is us. And it moves us to the 6 of Cups. It moves us to having a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of dreams coming forward, but a lot of things also coming forward from our past that say you can't have this because XYZ. You can't move forward in this prosperity because there was failure in the past. There was hurt in the past. There was disappointment in the past. And we're never going to outrun that hurt, that pain, and disappointment. What we have to do is stop and face it head on and say, no longer. No longer do you get to define who I am, because I get to define who I am by my actions, by my healing, by my connection with myself. And it leads us to our dreams. It really does lead us to a place where we start to look at what we have dreamt of, and we start to really embrace our hearts and say, what have I locked away? What do I feel like I'm never going to be able to connect with and create? What is it that I need and want and desire within my life? And it brings us to this place of unity. It brings us to this place of healing, where the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine become one. And as we have that unity coming forward, the star comes in. And it says, what do you wish for? Not what do you cross your fingers and wish for? What do you hope to obtain for yourself? It's what's the deep wish of your soul? What is it that, if you are really honest with yourself, you desperately want, or you deeply want? Is it connection? Is it love? Is it happiness? Is it joy? Is it freedom? Is it structure? What is it that we long for? And how is that gift going to be given to us by divinity? How are we going to take it? How are we going to call it in and not deny it? It moves us then to our subconscious public arena, not our subconscious, our public arena self. And this is the 3 of Pentacles. And it says here, enterprise, success, talent, and teaching. It's like, this is me. This is the beauty and the power and the prosperity. This is what I'm teaching others. This is what I'm sharing. This is what I'm bringing forward. But this is also what I've taught myself as I grow, as I become, as I transform. And it leads us then to the 5 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups here says, loss, leaving, sorrow, loss, leaving, sorrow. It is that mantra. And what we're going to see here is, what is the mantra that defines us? We have the cups that are spilt, right? The 3 cups that are spilt and the 2 cups that stand. We have the 2 of Cups at our heart, the healing, beautiful love, the unity, the connection, the desire and passion of our souls. How do we move forward in that knowledge? How do we move forward in that beauty? How do we look at the pain and say, I see you, but you don't get to define me? That's why I love this tattoo right here, right? It is mustard seed. And it means in Buddhism that no life is without sorrow. And that is something that is profound, is that no life is without sorrow. But no life should be blackened out, should be taken away because of that sorrow. If you are still standing, then you need to celebrate life. You need to celebrate standing. You need to mourn and remember and love and connect. But you need not to be defined by grief. It moves us to our lunar message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At our root, our Luna message is show the world the real you, and that Aquarius energy coming through, self-love, self-reflection. Self-reflection, not self-love. Show the world the real you, self-reflection. See who you are. Embrace what you desire. It leads us to our Luna message for our inner self, and it says, hold to your vision, power, the full moon. So when we have the full moon, which I think is on the 17th, but I'm not exactly sure, when the full moon comes in, we need to hold to our vision as the spotlight is put on what we desire, on what we want, of the nudge and the push that we have had from this from this new moon? Have we succeeded? Have we achieved? What is it that we're heading towards? And it leads us to our lunar emotional self. And it says, bring love into the equation. Again, Aquarius coming forward. Full moon at our root, new moon at our heart. And it says here, again, bring love into the equation. Bring the heart forward. Focus. Focus on awakening that love, awakening that connection, and awakening that power. Pisces, when you love with such intense beauty that it is extraordinary. When you are in your positive frame of being, when you embrace your positivity and your determination and your focus, you are unstoppable in such a way that is so unique within our world. It is breathtaking. It moves us to our lunar public arena self, and it says, believe in the impossible, the void. The void is the dark moon. The impossible comes forward, and the impossible is shown by Lilith that we try to run away from, by what we try to deny and what we most greatly fear. Our subconscious lunar message is, don't let the past hold you back, the South Lunar Node. It brings us to will. Will we? Will we have the will to move away from our past and not let it hold us back? Remember, in astrology, they say that our life purpose is echoed between the North and the South Lunar Node. Will we hear it? Will we even hear the faint whispers of it as we move forward? It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and it's the Chariot. The Chariot, Cancer energy, is ruled by the moon. It's being mindful of the power that the moon has over us. We are ruled by the moon in the major arcana. It is our card. Be mindful of the way that we move forward, subconsciously and consciously. Are we at war with each other? Are we calling forward and calling people into our lives, attracted to people who are at war with each other, the subconscious and the conscious not coming together? It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, and that is grounding. That's the Earth Star chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. This is the grounding of ourselves, the rooting of ourselves, the healing and the feeding of us. Are we taking care of ourselves? Are we nurturing ourselves the way that our soul needs? Are we moving ourselves forward the way that we desire? It's like planting a cactus in rich, beautiful, deep, dark soil. Does it feed the cactus? No, not really. Does the cactus do well? Not at all. It is saying, what do I need? What food, what nourishment do I need to move forward with? To sustain me, to ground me, to grow me. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self, and that is the Empress, pregnant with possibilities, giving birth and moving forward, embracing creativity, nurturing and loving what we bring forward into the world, whether it be a child or whether it be our vision for the future, our dream, our desire, our hope. We need to birth it forward. We need to not keep it within us until it shrivels away. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that is the Ace, and that is the Two of Swords. We always thought there were two paths, two ways that you walk. We're going to see that so many roads open up for us that it's astounding. And we need to look at those paths and say, there's more to life than what I originally thought. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And it's the Three of Swords. We have to look at the hurt and the pain that is making us doubt ourselves, that is keeping open wounds within us, that is holding us back. And as we look at it, we name it and we pull it out. And we say, you don't get to define me anymore. You don't get to be me anymore. Pain, hurt, disaster, destruction. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Hangman. And the Hangman here says, writing, rebirth, sacrifice, reflection. Oh, not waiting. There we go. I was like, that's a weird one. Waiting. We're waiting to be reborn. This is a rebirth. This is a sacrifice. In Norse mythology, doesn't Odin, yes, he does. Okay, so Odin hangs from a tree and has a blackbird peck out his eye. And that's when he gets the vision, of clear sight. So it's kind of a gross story, but, Vikings and all that, there wasn't going to be a cute, cuddly bedtime tale. But what we have here is we have the sacrifice that we have to make as we see things differently. And as we're waiting to adjust to this sight, to the difference that is coming forward, we're going to think that we're wrong, that it can't possibly be. And we need to accept. We need to accept the vision that is coming our way and know that it may mean that we don't fit in the way that we thought we would, or we don't see things the way everybody else does. Does it mean that we're wrong? Absolutely not. All right. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this new moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces, and may you have a blessed moon.